So I'm hanging out here in this little garden shed of where I'm staying, having a cup of tea. Oh, you might hear the wind around me. There's a really big storm. The adventures of Suze has begun again, and this time alone. So I thought I was going to go to Germany. I don't even know what I thought. Like I didn't think I was in love, and I was just like, yeah, let's go to Germany. Gave up my apartment. Just was in love. I was willing to follow my partner anywhere. I love him so much. And didn't really have a plan. Didn't really realize that they don't speak English in that part of Germany. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. I was just in love, and then I wasn't expecting Hans, my partner, to fall into depression so badly, and I wasn't expecting any of it, you know what? And I've learned so much from this time. I cannot tell you. For the first time, I felt like he was actually with me in the new room that I'm staying in last night. So for 3 or 4 weeks, I'm staying in a converted garage, which is a cute little studio, and it's all got 70s style furniture. I actually really like it. And in return, I'm the guardian of a piece of land here in Gozo, and it's my job to feed the chickens. And this morning I went to see them in the wind, and I let them out, and they were like, no, we're gonna Netflix and chill, like, get me out of here. And it was just funny, like, just going in to feed them, just be present with chickens and land. And yeah, I went to a fashion show, which is a completely opposite dimension to the one I'm in now. Like, Gozo and Malta are two completely different worlds. Gozo is slow and about being present and connected, and that's why I think for me, towards the end of the 5 years, I started to feel a bit bored, because if you are not present and connected with yourself, you're not okay about being alone with yourself, you're not connected to nature, then you could find Gozo pretty boring after 5 years. You for sure will run out of things to do. And this is why I've decided that while I'm on the island and I have no idea how long I will be here, I'm going to learn to play the guitar, I'm going to learn to cook, I'm going to learn to crochet, I'm going to learn about the garden, I'm going to learn to be alone, because since my partner died, the anxiety was just nuts. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night and just feel terrified of being alone, and I don't know where it came from, because obviously before I met him I was alone. But when we were together, he used to say to me, you're the most anxious person I've ever met. And I had no idea. I was just so used to being anxious. I didn't even realize, it's not until you have someone be a mirror to you that you actually realize who you are. And I'm feeling a bit emotional because I'm tired, but yeah, yesterday I went to a fashion show. So Malta's like the complete opposite of Gozo. It is fast-paced, it is busy, everyone's going somewhere, everyone's doing something. It's the complete opposite energy. It's very cosmopolitan. It's more like being in a city. There are parts of Malta that are like Gozo and have farmland and have got that peaceful nature and lots of nature around and everything. But generally, those of us that live in Gozo, when we get off the ferry from Malta to Gozo and we get back onto the island of Gozo, we're like, oh, it's like it takes up a lot of energy to be in Malta. But I have to say, every time I go to the capital, which is Valletta, there's a part of me that really wants to move there, because it is more exciting than here. Gozo is full of people who are healers and doing healing work, and that is really amazing. There's experts in everything. If you want to come here and heal, then it's a perfect place. It's full of experts in that. If you want to come on retreat, it's the perfect place. But as far as being a creative is concerned, I don't know if it's the perfect place or if I just have to get into a more creative place again within me, because my creativity has just gone out the window at the moment, and that's okay. You know, I'm recovering. It's only been a few months, and I just didn't realize how much this grief would affect me, but I also didn't realize how much I would learn from the death of my partner. I didn't realize how much he had to teach me. I'm thinking that he's probably going to be the greatest teacher I ever had. And unfortunately, I had to lose him in order to learn everything that I'm learning right now. And it's a lot. I'm learning so much about myself. And I'm learning that I don't just want to survive anymore. I want to thrive, which is ironic because the name of the garden that I'm in is called Thrive Garden. I just realized that. Oh, bless the universe and the magic that it brings, right? Oh, dear. Man, I miss him so much. I don't know. I didn't even know him for very long, but he was the most interesting and fascinating person I've ever met. And he was a genius. You know, everything he did, he mastered. And that's why I picked up his guitar, because I was like, there is no way. When I came back to Gozo, his guitar, one of his guitars was here. And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to leave it just picking up dust, sitting in the corner of my room, and there's no way that I'm going to give it to someone else. So I was like, the only option I have is to learn to play it, even though I hate being a beginner. Does wonders to my pride, you know. It's like everyone else is like improvising and I'm like trying to reach a chord. But I have a beautiful teacher here in Gozo. I found an expert teacher, and it was the most healing session ever to pick up his guitar and learn a song. And then it was very humbling the week after, because the week after I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to practice for an hour every day. And then I discovered that you have to learn to tune a guitar, and I could not work out how to do that. And it just taught me that in everything we do in life, if you want to master something, it takes 10,000 hours to be a master of something. But if you're not willing to humble yourself to be a beginner, you'll never master anything. So if you're bored, then it's because you're choosing to be a boring person. And that's what I was starting to become, was a boring person. I wasn't willing to get off my plateau. I wasn't willing to master anything new. I was only willing to do what I'd done before. I have no idea why. Just, you can do that. You can reach a point in life where you feel like you've done everything you wanted to do. I mean, Hans must have felt like he had done everything he wanted to do, because that's why he chose to die. But he had mastered more than most people will ever master in one lifetime, and he was only 31. I just feel sad that I was in such a bad place myself, and so anxious and so unclear in my life that maybe I was a bore to hang around with by the end of it. And that's something that I feel sad for, and that is motivating me to become a more interesting person and to be more interested in life. The more interested in life we are, the more interesting a person we become. Have you noticed that if you're having a conversation with someone and you get really, really interested in everything, I'm not just talking about what they're saying, I'm talking about notice the way they move their hands. You know, notice everything about them. Notice what they're wearing. Notice just everything. And then once you notice everything about that person and you're really tuned into them and you really, really listen to them. I had this experience last night. Suddenly, you become the most interesting person to them because you've given them such full body attention that they want to know so much about you. And I had this experience last night, and it was so beautiful because I realized that I'm just so in my head all the time worrying about everything that I'm not even present and enjoying what's going on in the moment. I'm just so out of my body. So I'm hoping once the wind dies to be able to come here to this garden every single day. I've got tasks to do here in return for living for free, which is really beautiful and interesting. I never expected this experience. It just came out of nowhere. It's really quite a miracle. It's saving me money at a time when I'm introducing new things into my life, and I don't know every day where money's coming from, but every day the universe just keeps blessing me with some kind of a surprise, like having this place to live for free for 3 or 4 weeks in return for taking care of the garden and getting to know the chickens and taking care of the snails, not to walk on them, and just being slower and just having a different experience of life. So yeah, anyway, my feet are getting pins and needles because I'm sitting on them, so I'm going to finish this video, but I just wanted to share this with you. That's been like 11 minutes already, so yeah. So just sending you so much love and just encouraging you, if you're at that precipice where you're thinking that you want to go on an adventure, but you are scared, just become more present with yourself, with the world around you, and build your confidence. And like, yeah, don't live your life small. Don't complain. Don't stay stuck. You know, I think even using the word like, go for your dreams is so cliche, because it's sometimes we don't even know what our dreams are anymore. And that's okay as well, but don't get tired of life. And that's what Hans has taught me. Hans was tired of life. I don't know why. I won't ever be able to ask him. But I think it's because he mastered so much of life. Maybe he was tired of other people. I have no idea why he left. But I know that he is so present in my life, and he is teaching me so much through his passing. It woke me up. I am awake. That I was just daydreaming and not being present with my life at all. I wasn't making decisions for myself that about my present, let alone my future, because it's your present that's going to create the future. It's today that creates the future. So it's not about daydreaming and always visualizing the future or feeling in lack because you're constantly thinking about a future that you don't have right now and then never enjoying the present moment. Or it's about saying this moment isn't as good as the moment you had in the past, so you're always stuck in the past and complaining. It's about being present with what you have right now. And if you're not enjoying it, then you can change it. And I understand if that takes courage. And if you're at the same point that I am and you're wanting to build that courage, then yeah, please stay on this journey. Come with me. I'm going to be doing a course in January as well to help people who want to start new creative projects, because I've done so many. You know, I've started the YouTube channel. I've made money. I've made a living out of this. I've made like $3,500 a month from my patrons at one point. I've made a podcast, done art exhibitions, I've made short films that have been in film festivals. I've done so many creative projects. Some of them made money, some of them were just for love, some of them, it was, you know, it's not always about the money. It's about the doing of the thing that leads to the next thing. You never know how life is going to surprise you. But if you don't start that thing that's in your heart, that inkling that you have, that idea that's coming through you, that little bit of inspiration. The word inspire comes from in spirit. You know, it's the spirit that's moving through the body. You are just the channel. If you're not allowing those things to come out of you, then you're staying stagnant and you're stuck. You're standing on the edge of the cliff, but you're not flying. And that's been me. For a while, I've been standing on the edge of a cliff and I've not been flying because I've been too afraid to. And now that my partner has gone and I'm sad about it, I've decided that if he's not coming with me, I'm not going to stay stagnant and on the edge of the cliff and not flying just because I'm going to stay sad for the rest of my life. I'm going to choose to thrive here at the Thrive Garden with my tea in the shed. And I hope you're going to choose to thrive too. Anyway, I love you. If you've listened this far, then thank you. You really are a true fan, and I really appreciate you and love you.